Oh, shut up.
Okay, so we were live there. Let's see what's happening there.
And we're live now. Hello.
And we're live. We're going to wait a second. See if some other people get
We're
back
gonna
in.
wait a
So
second.
if you're just tuning to this video now because it's getting archived, we had a technical difficulty. We're haunted by an echo whenever we talk about Lock and Key, which I do not think is a coincidence. Um,
I think you're just super
uh,
stitchy.
yeah, dude, it's creepy. Um,
Um,
so that's kind of a thing, but we're getting through the last finale of Lock and Key right now. Oh, dude, there's my fucking echo again.
It's only at the beginning part, like it always is.
Oh, is that me because of...
Turn
Yes.
off the, yeah.
There we go. Okay, that's my echo. Got that taken care of. Guys, thank you for coming back. 5 of you came back. We love you.
Hi, dudes. Sorry.
Well, we got to do some research. We got to figure out whether we're just haunted or if we're doing something wrong with the tech.
Or Google Plus is just whack as shit.
Should we try something else?
I don't know. Is there anything else? I don't know nothing.
There are different embedding programs out there that let us do the Hangout stuff.
Whatever.
So,
As long as it works. This is dumb.
it's just stupid.
This is stupid.
So
Go on.
guys,
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, where were we?
Okay, so everyone's back. We got some people here. Everyone found the link. We're speeding through this. Oh, so Rufus saved the day, right?
yes, Rufus ends up being the hero.
Which is pretty much the raddest fucking thing ever. I love the fact that it was a slow burn to watch him escape, like to travel all the way back. Lance says we should use Skype. Maybe we should. We'll do some Skype tests. Thanks, Lance. I appreciate that. So Rufus shows up at the right fucking time, and it's goddamn beautiful. And he's throwing Chody into the well house. By the way, totally knows how all the keys works because he's going after him. And by the way, there's one really special moment I want to talk about in this. You know how everyone says it's like, oh, it's retard strength, and you think that's like the most derogatory thing on the face of the earth? I think it's just awesome Rufus strength, and he's one of the best, strongest characters in this entire story. And I love the fact that he overpowers Chody so easily and just makes it happen. And that is one of the coolest things about this book, and it's kind of perfect when it happens. Throws him into the well house, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? You guys still there?
Yeah.
Cool, just making sure. Throws him into the well house, and that's when his like spirit dissipates because it is just rad. But then, unfortunately, also it looks like this incidentally kills Bode's body. So that's one thing that we have to deal with that's really crazy. But the tragedy, by the way, things are not good yet. So now we've got Jackie and Scott. And Scott is still miraculously still alive somehow because of the Hercules key, but he's definitely suffering with all the whispering iron starting to solidify in his system. And he puts Jackie down and realizes there's only one last thing to do. And he takes the reversal key that Ty made, sticks it in her, and releases her soul from the parasite symbiote soul sucker thing. And they kind of have like the last few words together, and then they actually die together at the same time because he pulls the Hercules necklace off, so they can. So essentially, he can like release himself also. And at that point, you're just kind of crying a shit ton, like I was and Ian was earlier. And
Yep.
the next page, what's that?
Said very accurate, yes.
Yeah, tell me, there were a lot of goddamn tears when you were reading this.
It was very, very sad. And then fucking I love noticing things I didn't notice before when I'm flipping through this book because rushing. Awesome. We'll talk about it, what I just saw in a minute. On this page, actually.
Oh, what?
I saw
Which page?
something on this page that Ian's showing. Ian, scroll down a bit. Down, corner, other corner.
Of the burnt house?
Yeah. There's a
Enhance.
There's a little bird in the corner. You see the bird? I just saw the bird for the first time.
Where's the bird?
Look at the bird right here. Tweet, tweet.
Oh.
Oh,
Wait.
oh.
That's the first time I saw that, and now, like, that I finished it, I'm just like, oh, look at the bird!
Wait, what part was that?
It's the page after me skipping ahead.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
There's the bird. There.
Did you skip ahead?
I did. I'm sorry.
We're like, where's the fucking bird?
Yeah, I skipped ahead.
Am I showing the bird?
Okay.
Yeah, anyway, okay, so before we see the bird, there's, Bodhi's funeral, and everybody's fucking crying. It's so sad.
So now, yeah. So, and unfortunately, like, there is, we're kind of watching, like, Ty kind of, like, mature. The last issue opens up with him kind of, I don't know, putting on glasses, makes him look like his dad, growing out his beard a little bit. But he's definitely taken all the keys and put them together. And you realize that they're actually at Bode's funeral. And so they weren't able to save him. The whole family's there. Now we're watching. Oh, and on top of that, like, there's also been, like, so many other deaths because of all the stuff that happened in the cave. And there's this one really cool moment because it's Kinsey and her mom still trying to reconcile the entire relationship, and I guess they're both kind of feeling guilt over a lot of the things that they've said to each other over the last year. And there's this really great moment where she kind of looks over and goes, "Mom, if you just need to get hammered, I totally get it. You've earned it." And the mom realizes that the closest thing that she needs in her life right now is her family, and all the alcohol does is push them away. And so she's really recommitted herself to being sober, especially during, like, this really hard time right now. And I thought that was really cool. I also think, not reading too much into it, I don't want to read too heavily into it, but because there was Stephen King has talked a lot about, like, a lot of his addictions when he was writing, and he was a lot of it was alcohol. He also claims he doesn't remember writing Cujo at all, which I think is really interesting. I think that's kind of some lessons that Joe Hill kind of exercised a little bit in the story, which I think is absolutely amazing. And I think it was really cool and brave to kind of really tackle those issues. And I thought that was really fucking phenomenal. Where are we? Savannah, you want to kind of talk about what happens next after the funeral?
After the funeral, it's Ty and Duncan talking about what's going to happen now. And then Duncan gives him the Challenger.
Yeah.
Right? Pretty cool. He's super stoked about it. And then Tyler drives back to the house. Enter little bird scene right here.
There we go.
Okay, we're caught up.
Just a little bird scene.
Little bird scene. And then Tyler's walking up with his giant ring of magical keys, and he opens the door to the well house, and the well says who, and he asks for Luke.
Right. Which, by the way, I like the fact that someone finally figured out how the well house really works. Like, it wasn't until the very end. It was like, oh, this is, by the way, like, we kind of been, like, screwing around with it and kind of playing around with the rules a little bit. But I like that Ty is the one who kind of really figures out, okay, this is what the well house is used for. So that's pretty cool. And he asks for Lucas, and it's Lucas's echo, which is kind of scary. It's like this weird thing where it's like you just went through this entire ordeal, and then you're essentially going to bring somebody back again. Mm-hmm. That you just, like...
It's as he was when he first was infected.
Yeah.
With his longer hair as a dude with the thing in him, and...
It seems like he kind of actually still retains all the memories of everything they just went through, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And they finally have this one last, like, final showdown, and Ty's like, I kind of made a promise to you. I really do want... I'm here to save you one last time. And freaking Lucas Dodge is talking about his experiences on the other side, what death is like, and how it's kind of really interesting concepts there. But while he's talking, freaking Ty is not having any of it, tackles him, takes him into the water well, but he's got the reversal key one last time, and essentially they fight underwater, which is already scary enough. Sticks the reversal key in I don't even know what to call him anymore because we've gone through so much shit. And
It's the alpha key, right?
it's the alpha key.
It's if there's they talk about the key moving things forward and backwards. The omega key was the end, so the alpha key is an A, and it looks like it looks like an unwound safety pin, or not safety pin, paperclip, a little A,
Right.
fish hook though, or whatever. It's just a thin piece of metal with a little A on it, and that's the key that he uses. Beginning.
Right.
Alpha.
And he freaking shoves it into Dodge Lucas' chest and reverses the essentially reverses the symbiotic soul sucker and starts turning metallic in the Echo. And it's him realize, and it's kind of like really heartbreaking because now it returns him back to the Dodge that we fell in love with when we realized how great of a person he was through the flashbacks. And it's him coming to grips with everything he's done. And he is now feeling regret and still feels responsible for it, even though it wasn't necessarily his actions. Which is just the worst thing is, like, you so want to hate the bad guy in this book, but then it's his one final redemption moment. And you're now, like, you hate him and you're glad that he lost, but it's this one last moment where Ty is still, like, trying to release him and kind of, like, save his soul. And watching him come to grips and realization of all the horrible shit he's done as he's dying. It's almost like it's like almost like a deathbed confession. You're glad to see him back that one last time the way he was, and that is pretty gnarly. And it's strange to watch someone who's died so many times have a really like captivating conversation about death and what it is to move over to the other world, and that was kind of like heartbreaking for me. It was really hard for me to definitely watch Dodge go through that one last time. Walks out of the well house with Dodge's body, and it disappears like all the other Echoes do. Which I thought was really cool. Great fitting, great ending.
And then where the hell does he go?
Oh, yeah.
On that exact page. He does the whole fucking ashes to ashes, dust to dust bullshit, and then it shows him looking down somewhere.
Yeah, you know that fucking bullshit. Yeah.
With the flashlight, and then he goes into whatever that is. So is that what the Red River was before? Is that where he's going to take the keys? I forget.
Well, do you want me to tell you?
Yeah.
Well,
Maybe.
he goes back down to the cave to retrieve Aaron Voss's memories.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay.
Right.
Right. Oh God, this book. Okay.
I
keep
just
going.
asked some stupid question. I was like, "Do you want me to tell you? We're done with it."
Yeah. I'm not. Yeah. Almost though.
So they return back to the hospital and they return Mrs. Voss's memories. And I like the fact that instantaneously she knows exactly what's going on, gives Kinsey a little kiss on the cheek, stands up, and like she's got all her like facilities again. And it's kind of nice that she's gonna go out there and try to live the rest of her life out there. Also, something I thought was really cool was all the funeral scenes really kind of echo. Oh, I hate using that word right now. Really echo who the people were in life, and I thought that was a lot of fun. So especially when they're talking about Scott and Jackie and how Jamal and Kinsey are kind of doing a dual ceremony about talking about each of them. I get teared up because I think it's the raddest thing in the world that they know who Scott was so thoroughly that they're straight up like, all right, so who knows any Sex Pistols songs?
Kirk
What's that?
Crying.
Yeah, shut up. I'm not crying. It's onions. But I love that part. I thought that was so cool. I hope that there are friends that I have in this world that go, that's what he would like to hear during the funeral. So I love that when Ty walks out, they're straight up like, are they singing Anarchy in the UK? And they're like, yeah, probably.
And that's Jordan's dad that says that asks him what they're playing. And he's outside, standing next to her motorcycle.
And then we finally realize just how much of a fucking asshole Jordan's dad is. He's clueless. He has no idea about who his daughter is. Probably we could just kind of like make some giant leaps in kind of guessing that he never made an attempt and was probably just like the absent father while she was growing up and just couldn't take a hint.
He was just throwing money at her whole life, and that made
Essentially.
her hate him. So
Yeah.
he's going on and on and on about college and blah 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 blah, and then Tyler literally just doesn't even give him the time of day, jumps on her motorcycle and fucking takes off. And then they show a panel where Jordan's ghost is like hanging on to him, and
Yeah.
it's fucking, oh god, so sad. Oh,
Yeah, I need someone else to cry besides me right now. How great is that scene?
Oh, I did enough crying for all three of us earlier. I am out of tears.
And so he just goes for this awesome joyride on her motorcycle, which I also like the fact that he kind of encompasses like her rebellious spirit in that one last moment where it's like, this is something she would totally do. And
Well,
take a
actually,
complete stranger's
remember that
motorcycle.
thing when he goes to Booty Town? They talk about how the one thing he wants to do is to ride on her motorcycle with her.
Yeah. Yeah, and she was like, well, you don't need a wish for that. You just got to ask for it. And then we get to this other part where Tyler's just hanging out. He's got the keys. He's probably thinking about his next step. And then the bird. Little bird lands next to him, kind of like whistles at him. And we realize that the bird is legitimately trying to get his attention. Goes into what's left of the house, and I'm not quite sure. This is a hard leap for me, but I'm trying to figure out why he instinctively knew to use the ghost key on what's left of that door. So the bird goes through it. Bird's little spirit.
The door and the knob are still there.
Yeah.
And the bird is like staring at the door, and he has the key in his hand. So he's like, all right, I'm going to open this door.
Let's figure this out. And so the little bird goes through, kind of like curls up, drops dead a little bit, which I thought was funny, but also really sad. And then little bird spirit goes and finds Bode's little disembodied spirit, and they have a quick little conversation. And basically the bird trades spaces with Bode. Bode goes into the bird's body, because this was all so foretold. I can't believe this. And now Ty's like, what's up with this bird? And he starts following him over, and there's one last little thing. He opens another door that's over, like, kind of like, was it the garage? What is that little area?
It's like a garden shed, and it's the and you can see it if you look closely. You can see what key he's using, and the symbols that are on the door are little animals. So he's using the animal key, and with the whole alpha and omega theme, with what you can turn one way, you can turn another way, and out pops.
Yeah.
The bird goes in and Bodhi comes out.
Yeah, that was one of the keys that could turn you back and forth from an animal to a human. And and so he calls the family and says, you need to get down here right away. And what probably is like, I'm sorry, but this mom is going to be so fucked up for the rest of her life.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'm glad that she's sober. I know, like, I'm glad that she's sober, but, like, she's definitely going to want to be like, oh, man, my life wasn't this crazy when I was drinking.
Mm-hmm.
They all show up, and Ty's got Bode on his shoulders because he converted the bird back to Bode. And now everyone's freaking out. I love that the uncle and his boyfriend are just kind of like, I'm only getting every third word, but I guess we're just going to go along with it because everyone's just really happy that Bode's still alive. And then, if it wasn't enough waterworks for you, then there's Rufus, and they decide that they're going to adopt Rufus, and he's going to move with the family.
Oh, that's so magical.
It all works out.
Yeah!
Rufus is really the star of this entire thing.
Right?
Yeah, and but still, does it say how many people like died in the cave? Like, didn't fucking 130 people die in the cave? Something.
And only 61 made it out.
And a cop died, and some other people died.
The detective died. Not to mention, like, everything leading up through that year that were people that fucking Chode killed.
Yeah.
And, I mean, ugh. But
everything
the cool part
is right with the world, though. The house is burned the fuck down.
And he decides to go into the well house one more time and then asks for somebody, and it's his dad. So they have one more little quick talk, and the cool thing is that because of everything that Ty's been through, he essentially is kind of like come out of the other end of his like adolescence like bullshit, and now it's kind of him and his dad having like a talk to talk like as equals. And I thought that was really cool.
It's like he goes from being in high school and has a goatee a week later and is like a man. It's kind of awesome.
Yeah. if it only took like growing a goatee for you to be like, I'm grown up now.
I'm an adult, all right? My facial.
I'm an adult. I have facial hair. Look at me.
I have things on my face.
Mm-hmm. And then the weird part was is that he actually offers his dad like a chance, like, hey, we can kind of fix this. You don't have to be a ghost anymore. And it's kind of like this weird, like, everything came to its natural conclusion. The dad's like, no, everyone's been through everything that they need to. We've all come out of this journey the right way. And they give him one big hug, and then they walk through the threshold. Dad disappears. And Tyler's like, okay, cool. Time to go, like, live the rest of my life.
Ian, look, got the dust in the fucking wind. The song. Fucking Kansas or Hall & Oates or whoever the fuck sings that song. Dust in the wind. I was singing it in my head. You know which one.
So,
but the cool part is those last two panels. Then you see the Death's Head moth again.
Yep.
And I thought that was a really nice little subtle way to end everything.
And it says, the end.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
and that's Locke and Key. After 6 weeks.
Yay!
And a lot of echoes.
God, we're going to have to research that. I'm just pretty sure it's because this book is haunted. I had a lot of fun watching Susanna.
That's why?
Yeah, that's not technical difficulties.
Okay.
Shit's haunted.
I've got a friend that's a ghost hunter. Danielle, where you at? She will fix it.
We could do an entire episode of that. I'd be okay with it.
Awesome.
So really quick things that we want to talk about because I know this went super long. One, I like the fact that there was like everything is foretelling in this entire series, and it all pays off perfectly. There are things about this series or this last volume where when Jordan and Tyler are having that conversation about like, so there's a genie and there's 3 wishes, and automatically she's like, more wishes. That was kind of foretelling Chode's master plan. It wasn't like he was going to bring an army over here. He wanted that the keys grant wishes, and he was going to make more wishes happen. So I thought that was a really cool thing in this last volume. But that said and done, guys, final thoughts on this. Ian? Any final thoughts about Locke and Key?
Well, rereading this story was amazing. I think that it is so powerful that the same feelings I had the first time around came back on the second time around. I feel like that's really telling about how powerful this book is overall. This is in my opinion, in my humble opinion, this is a masterpiece of horror. This is what horror should be. Horror should not be just shock value American Horror Story. Horror should not be grossness and disgust. You know what I mean? Like you should get something out of it. It's a look into the mind, into people's fears, into horrible shit, and you can learn shit from horrible shit. Just like this book taught me a lot about alcoholism, homosexuality, family, love, fear, divorce.
Now, because there is so much family and love in this book, it's really hard for me to put it into like a horror category compared to like a couple of other horror books that are really popular right now. Like, are you reading Empty Zone? Jason Alexander? That shit is gnarly. This one is like PG-13 on the horror scale for me.
God.
Sorry. I'm an Army of Darkness Evil Dead junkie. I read a lot of horror, and this is a little too chill for me on that horror ultimate scale. Just because it is about family and love, and there's a lot of like, I would give it to a teenager. I would not let a teenager read fucking Empty Zone. Sorry.
Okay.
Well, I'm gonna have to check out Empty Zone. But you're right, though. It is about family, because even Chody says, in his own fucked up, evil way, this has always been about family, and the Locke family taught me that.
Yeah.
And he wanted his own fucked up evil family for himself at the end of the day, and that's so. And you're right in a lot of ways. I don't know if I'd say PG-13,
There's
but
no
sure.
actual nipple anywhere.
Just saying.
But,
Just
okay,
saying.
nudity is
That's my
not horror,
line.
though. Nudity is
No,
not
but
horror.
that's what puts it through that like adult door. You know what I mean? It's still on that. I would let a 13-year-old read this book.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't consider nudity to be horror. I mean, American Horror Story showed a dude getting
not
real
just nudity.
fucked. I mean, I don't know, dude. Like, that's not
That's
horror.
intense.
That's just
intense.
smut.
But
That is
it's a different
smut.
like level of adult. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Okay. No, I see that.
I think at this point, like, the book is so good and it pays off so well that it'd be really hard for me to pigeonhole this thing into one type of category or one genre.
Fucking totally. It's very like it's got a huge span of people that could like it. Like if you like put it in a graph, you could dot all the like dots on it. Whereas there's other books like Empty Zone. That book is out there on its own, getting one dot in the art section and getting one dot on the holy shit section. This one is very, very rounded in a lot of ways.
So that's why I kind of want to ask people, because I thank you, because I know we had technical difficulties tonight. But everyone who's really dedicated will find this and kind of went through this whole journey with us for the last 6 weeks. Down below in the comments, this is a really big deal for me. I want to know what you guys got out of this series. Because some people are like, oh, I got a really good scare, or like, oh, I learned a lot about family, or especially for me,
Mental illness, disability.
Yes,
Holy shit.
racism, everything. What was it that personally spoke to you? And I want to see those comments down below. That's something I've been waiting to ask for, like, literally when we started this. Like, what do you get when you read Lock and Key? Like, that is really important for me to know. I really want to know.
Magic. Magic as fuck. Magic and magic and bad guy and good writing. It's very entertaining. It's a really good story to read. Like if you're it's kind of hard to read an entire series like that. 6 volumes in 6 weeks.
But it pays off so well.
Mm-hmm.
This was I have read some of Joe Hill's stuff, and then I kind of like became more of a fan after I read this. I still really feel, I stand by it, said in the last video, I think Joe Hill writes a better ending, and I think this was perfect for me. I know he said that he was having problems writing the ending to this story, but this was kind of perfect for me.
It was nice
Kinda
and long.
perfect.
He dedicated an entire volume to ending the story. It wasn't just, the last book is still coming down off the climax and the end. This whole book is conclusion. Like it starts to taper in book 5.
And everything in this thing was like every theme and issue that was dangerous and scary that most writers would not touch. He touched everyone with. We talked about this about another title, respect. He handled every subject with respect.
Yeah.
And the fact that he was able to not skirt away or make any, not trim any corners or like, I'm trying to find the right word for this. Not sacrifice any integrity for the sake of the story.
Yeah.
And not drag it out at the same time.
Yeah, it's kind of perfect. Like it's perfect.
Kind of perfect. It's kind of
perfect.
Kind of perfect.
Kind of perfect.
Well, so then, do you think that it's too perfect?
No, it's not too perfect, but it's really, really good. Really fucking good. On a scale of shitty to fucking incredible, it's at the really, really good side. Okay?
Okay. So on a scale of 1 so good to 5 so goods, ding.
I give it 4
Savannah, how would you
solid
rate?
so goods.
I give it 5.
4 solid
So good, so hard. It's Hyman broke. That's how much.
Whoa. That is not.
A scale from 1 to 5. How many
I just broke Locke and Key's Hyman. Okay.
Ugh. Jesus, a word makes me cringe.
Through the evil hellmouth vagina thing.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's great.
The portal
I'm cracking up.
of soul.
So I think that's pretty much it. I think we're gonna wrap this one up because I'm more excited to keep the conversation going in the comments That's more important for me at this point. I want to see what other people have to say to this. If you're just discovering this, we just did all of Lock and Key, and it took 2 videos for the last volume because we had technical difficulties. Because we're fucking haunted. Mark my words on that one.
Okay, well, it's over now. What are we gonna do?
Yeah, it's over now. I don't know.
What are we
What
gonna
I
do?
can tell you is this. What I can tell you is this. I'm going to talk to these guys that I love so much about a really good meeting I had earlier today. The Deus Ex Comica website is about ready to launch in a week. I can officially say that, so I'm really excited. That's also going to coincide with the fact that there's going to be really tiny little change to Your Mom's Basement. To 1 book.
Oh no!
Next week it's going to be. We're going to talk about that. We're going to keep it to 1 book.
You almost froze
we're
on
also-
my side.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
We're also going to talk about weekly comic book releases and start that conversation going. Because there's something that Ian, Savannah, and I all kind of discovered, and you maybe saw it in part 1 of this whole discussion. We love talking about the comic book industry, situations that we deal with, comic shops, how you get your comics. Believe it or not, there's a lot of room for that, and I think it's something that we're also going to start focusing on. So we're not only going to do 1 book, but we're also going to do weekly title releases, and we'll also kind of like see where some of the other conversations go, because we're getting people want to hear that. We enjoy talking about it, and I'm starting to get some feedback about like that's something that we're really good at. And also, we're all really tired of doing 2.5-hour episodes. I know you guys are really tired of doing 2.5
God, they're so
episodes
long.
with
My
us.
legs numb. That's the reason I start complaining. Is because my legs have fallen asleep. So
I don't think you understand, because like
I put a
I feel
suggestion.
standing up.
To that. I think that Savannah should do squats, stretch, push-ups. While
I do that. I do that shit all day long. I don't want to do it now. It's my not moving time. This is my not moving time, and I'm also thinking about eating because I'm fucking hungry too. So
I'm sure you.
Okay, so we gotta go eat. That Cheeto talk happened earlier, and she was like, "Now
I'm like Cheetos, peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I don't know where we're going. I might have cereal. Who knows? I'm like got problems.
So I'm really excited, guys. I love you. I also love the fact that we have started a family over at YMB. So I just really want to shout out right now, Space Wolf, Lance, Apollo Yellow, all you guys that came back over here. Miss Christina Rose, one of my little Twitter friends, and I love our Twitter actions, not Twitter interactions, Twitter actions.
Listening,
She's
and watching.
amazing.
We love you.
Yolanda, dude. I miss Lazarus tonight, but I think he'll catch him later. Also, Damien, he wasn't here for this episode because he was on Game of Thrones. But guys, we have a really awesome community, and I'm really excited to start growing that a lot more, especially because we've been sticking around with this so long. I really do think that we are filling a need that a lot of people are looking for. So this is Your Mom's Basement. This was kind of like the beta test while we did all these books, and then we're going to go full-on official next week with our new format, which is still just going to be us talking about the things we love with you guys. And I'm really fucking excited for that. What?
So official.
Yeah.
So official.
It's so official.
So official.
Oh, also, I was talking to Ian about this. If you do animated intros for YouTube videos, get at me. Holla at your boy. Holla. Get it. All 3 of us. I'll put our you know where you can find us on Twitter and Instagram and all that fun stuff. But I am going to try to find somebody and employ them and pay them. Yes, that's important. To do a YouTube intro for us, because I found out that if you do live shows, you can indeed have an intro segment. And I think that would be awesome to see Ian, Savannah, and myself animated in an intro.
Can we do like a little dance?
I already have an idea. I think it's me coming in and trying to look cool, and then Ian trying to come in and look cool, and then you're just going to like do an Iron Man power bomb fist and blow us away.
Oh, that'd be so bad. I'm so down with that.
And then it would just be Your Mom's Basement.
Yeah.
I have thought about that a lot.
Do we have it? Are there any actual basements in Los Angeles?
No.
No.
I've been to some dungeons and some weird clubs, but that's pretty much it.
Well, that's a different story. Are we going to call it Your Mom's Dungeon? That's even weird.
That's a good point, though, too. If you guys ever get like invited to someone's basement in California, they're probably going to kill you.
It's a murder room, guys.
Put the
It's a
lotion on
murder
its
room.
skin.
Yeah.
Because that was probably like custom built.
Yeah.
I would
It's a
love to
murder
have
room.
a rad basement. Oh, it sounds so cool because I've never had a basement. Everybody else who has basements are just like, ew, basements are weird and gross and wet and gross. I'm just like,
Dude,
oh, you have a
I lived
basement? Oh
in,
my God.
yeah,
It's like a
I
cellar.
lived in
Do you have
Utah for
wine
a
down
year.
there? And
It's weird. We
bodies?
had a basement.
Yeah.
It's gross.
I lived in Washington for a year and there was lots of basements, but people had like moss growing on their roofs and shit too because
Ew.
rain
Ew.
time.
Nah, I'm cool with that. Alrighty, guys. So I think that's pretty much it. Thank you for. I'm sorry, this is 2 parts. We love you. We'll be back next week. Also, stick around in the comment section. That's very important to me, and also we'll let you know when we decide on what our first book is for the next stage. That's awesome. I gotta let everyone go. I have friends at the bar waiting for me, and then I have
Oh,
a talk to have.
okay.
I
I
do.
see how it is. I see how it is.
Yeah.
Fine. Bye.
I'm
See
getting
ya.
I'm getting birthday shots in about 20 minutes. Suck it.
Oh,
Anyways,
okay. Birthday catching
yeah.
up. All right, fine.
Birthday catching up. I have friends up in Coachella, so everyone's like, "Let's get drinks." I'm like, "Yeah." Um, what else? And also, I have to have a very awesome talk with Ian and Savannah about all the good stuff that's going on. So, guys, I love you. This is your mom's basement. Guys, Ian and Savannah, say goodbye.
Bye, guys.
Love you. We'll see you next week. Same mom time, same mom channel.